The king of tennis, the god of tennis. Prologue. Introduction. Han Woo-jin, who was sitting in front of a computer inside a shabby room, looked down at his racket with grim eyes. It had been with him for 20 years now. I can't remember I can't remember how many times I changed the strings. His racket frame was still shiny because at the end of every game he played, he would rub it with his handkerchief. He got this racket signed by Ivan Lendl, who won the French Open in 1984 on his parents' honeymoon. Ivan Lendl. It's an it's a name that I hate and love. He was the man who made me start playing tennis, and he was a player that I admired. Han Woo-jin was born the same year that Evan won the French Open, so he had special feelings for this racket. It was inevitable that he became a tennis player. My parents were both huge tennis fans back then. They were a couple that gave their young son a racket and a tennis ball. Even Han Woo-jin himself couldn't help but fall deeper into the charm of tennis. However, Han Woo-jin's tennis career wasn't smooth sailing. Despite his hardest efforts, his skill remained at a standstill. I practiced tennis for 8 hours a day, and my hands were blistered because I held the racket for too long. Han Woo-jin believed that his effort would be rewarded in the future and continued playing. It was good that he was able to get into NK Company at 23 years of age. Han Woo-jin finally began thinking that his hard work was beginning to pay off. Unfortunately, his play record was poor during the few years he played for the company. His teammate was greatly supported by the company and was able to reach 4th place in the Korean Tennis Championship, winning a monetary prize reward, yet he received no chances from the company. But he didn't give up. He was still young. He could still do more. As he repeated these words to himself, he kept on playing tennis. In the end, it ends like this. He was now 33 years old, and this was the end of his career as a professional tennis player. He was a player that never won a single domestic reward. NK Company was burdened by him for 10 years. He never showed them any special talent. Choi Yeon-hyuk, his teammate, lived in a completely different world than him. He was the main character of success that placed as the runner-up, second place, in the Wimbledon, which was one of the 4 major tennis tournaments in the world. He was considered a national hero of tennis in Korea and was known as the king of tennis in newspaper interviews. I mocked him after reading the newspapers for getting second place and not first. However, what I should have laughed at was my own ability that was not even comparable to his. Was it talent? Han Woo-jin's talent seemed to have reached its peak when he joined NK at 23. When the players practiced, he was the ball boy picking up the balls. He only practiced when they all left. There weren't many people who practiced with him, so he practiced in the court alone. Woo-jin, you're not cut out to make a career as a player. Coach Jun San-shik. If I listened to my coach's words to quit being a player and instead become a coach, would it have been different? Maybe I would maybe I would have avoided asking my parents for money for living expenses. Couldn't I have avoided looking incompetent in front of my sister during the holidays? Han Woo-jin touched the same Han Woo-jin touched the name of Ivan Lendl on his racket and carefully put it down. It was now time to say goodbye to his dream. He turned on the computer screen and went straight to the largest tennis blog. It was a website that had articles upon articles of where he had left many comments and read many stories. I want to leave this in good hands. I used this racket for 20 years, but it's still in good condition. Han Woo-jin entered the used good page and typed his ad. What should be the title? He chose to write a title that would attract people's attention, not just Koreans, but anyone that would be excited about things with celebrity autographs, especially so for a world-class tennis player like Ivan Lendl. Selling a racket with Ivan Lendl's autograph. It was a simple title. Han Woo-jin laughed at the screen. His 20 years weren't in vain. How many times did he get mocked for playing with that tennis racket with his skills by his teammates? At least I don't want to sell it to them. He got a reply in just 5 minutes. The person wanted to confirm the authenticity and asked for a picture that his parents took with Ivan Lendl. They soon began a conversation. Han Woo-jin accepted his message without thinking. Prince of Wimbledon. Hello. Woo-jin. Yes, hello. Prince of Wimbledon. You're really selling it? You look like you're pretty attached to it. Are you sure you don't want to think about it some more? Han Woo-jin shook his head. It had already been decided. He had no talent for tennis. You'll be rewarded if you try hard. That was only a proverb for those with talent. Woo-jin. It's okay. I'm going to quit tennis. Prince of Wimbledon. I see. He was silent for a moment. He seemed to feel sympathy for Han Woo-jin, who had stopped trying to make an effort. Woo-jin. So are you going to buy it or not? Please make a decision. I don't like beating around the bush. That's what he said with tennis for most of his life. He berated himself for 10 years as a player. Han Woo-jin let out a self-deprecating laugh as his eyes became wet. The man answered, Prince of Wimbledon, I'll buy it. The racket. Woo-jin. What do you think about the price? Prince of Wimbledon. I'm not sure. The man seemed hesitant. A racket with the autograph of a world-famous player. Although it was used, it was still a precious item. If he sold it to Ivan Lendl, he could have gotten several thousands of dollars, but Woo-jin really wanted to sell it to a tennis lover, which is why he posted the ad on this website. He went to get water, and the other side wrote a few more lines. Prince of Wimbledon. Woo-jin, do you have the Dragon Balls or something? Han Woo-jin laughed instead of drinking the water. Wish. I didn't just want to win a competition or become a famous player. People dream of becoming famous celebrities. But what's the use of it? Han Woo-jin typed his response. Woo-jin. I just want talent. Talent? Yes. It is said that geniuses are made up of 99% effort and 1% talent. That is the truth. But even if you put in the 99%, you cannot achieve that 1%. Even tennis players need more than that 1% talent. But there was a limit that Han Woo-jin could reach as a normal person. Prince of Wimbledon. So, how much talent do you want? Woo-jin. Are you serious? Do you find this funny? Yes, well, I like it. Like, if that's the case, everyone thinks that, what if? How many times have I thought to myself, what if I was a talented player? Woo-jin. I don't need much. I just wish I could have realized earlier. I don't need much. I just wish I could have realized earlier on that I needed talent to be successful. That's simple. That's simple. The sentence he just read from that man pierced his heart. He was 33 years old. He was a 33-year-old tennis player with no achievements. A man whose dreams and talents were simple. Han Woo-jin. The man continued typing. Prince of Wimbledon. I'm fine with this. Are you willing to trade? The conversation suddenly went back to the racket. Han Woo-jin unconsciously answered, Yes. 3 short taps and then enter. That was the beginning.